necessarily the physical, the technical aspect of it. It could be a case of it's a real tight situation and they literally touch it so much that they get out of that situation, but so it doesn't go to another compromising situation. It was the perfect weight. So deciding what to do with their first touch is important. Being aware of space, so playing in between the lines. Being aware of their teammates, which I kind of touched on before in terms of when they construct their images. Being aware of their opponents, which I touched on. Assess the capability of their opponents. Now, when you look at some of the top teams, naturally, well, let me not go to the top teams. In our teams, we create a hierarchy. And so what will happen is there's that savior, that person that when we're in trouble, we're going to look to give it to more. We have to be honest, there are some teams or some players in your team that you don't rate as much. So you're not going to give them the ball unless you have to. It's something that people just do. And they get frustrated. So what they do is they assess the capability of their teammates and they may decide, okay, I'm not going to give it to this one, I'm going to give it to that one. Or it might not be based on that, but in that situation. So if I know this person is really skillful, they can get out of any situation, I can just give it to them. Whereas if I feel that that's not their strength and I see them in a busy environment, I'm not going to give it to them. Okay, so select the weakest person to face in that scenario. So if I'm running towards a player or I'm going to run in behind a player, I'm not going to run in behind... I can't think of any current players to... Let me just bring it a bit old school. So for example, I'm going to run in behind Sol Campbell less than I would run in behind John Terry. And that's just an example because Sol Campbell is quicker. Yes, I know John Terry can read the game, but I'm just using that as an example. So I'll be assessing the capabilities of the player who I'm playing against. Select the weakest person to face in that situation. So I gave the example just then of a specific aspect, but there could be other ways I might judge the person as being a weaker part of their team and exploit them. Choose whether to dribble, pass, or shoot. Be aware of their different body parts, Coordinate the parts of their body. And sorry, when I say being aware of their body and coordinate coordinate the body parts, their body parts, I'm talking about myself. So, for example, as much as I'm looking at the ball coming to me, I'm visualizing the options and I'm looking at exploiting the other team, I have to still carry out the mechanics of my body. So fitness comes into play because this is work and we don't notice it until we're tired. Also, injuries come into play in terms of mobility. That's something I'm definitely experiencing right now. So yeah, coordinating your body, executing that. Being aware of the ball. You know, balls come in, I'm constructing these images, those people there, managing my body, but I have to also be aware of the ball. It could be passed along the floor, it could be coming to me on the half volley, bouncing in the sky. You know, there's so many things I've got to focus on. Be aware of what will happen after they give the ball to a teammate. So personally, my responsibility isn't over until my teammate has controlled the ball in a safe space. Then it becomes their responsibility. And so what I mean by that is there could be someone marking them, but I have to make sure that I pass it to the safe side. I'm not just giving them the ball. Am I passing it to the foot that's the furthest away from an opponent? Am I passing it with the right weight? Am I giving them the right type of pass? Let's see which one I'm on now. So, think of the appropriate technique to use and how the ball will arrive to the teammate. Well, I kind of just went into that one. Select the technique. So now I know I've chosen which one I'm going to do. I've got to select it. I know of the options. I've got to select it. Think of which foot to use. Assess whether the ball is in the right place to connect effectively, because I may have assessed everything, run through all these ideas, and actually my touch has not been set up right. So I may have to now use option 2, or if I've got enough time, quickly shift the ball and go with the plan that I wanted to do. However, once I use an extra half second, that plan might not be as valuable now. And the last one is execute. So that is an example of all the things a player has to go through. All right, so what else? Without going in too deep with this, I go into training the unconscious mind, hopping between the two minds, because as much as I'm talking about unconscious competence and how great it is, you can't play the game unconsciously because there are things that happen in the moment. So the idea is repetition, repetition to sharpen your skill, but also to free up the conscious mind. Because prime example, if you have a player who has to watch the ball as it comes onto their feet, and they look at the ball as they dribble, which a lot of players do, I cannot be as effective as what I could be because my head's not up. I don't know what's going on around me. So I need to be able to have everything in place so unconsciously I can control the ball. Unconsciously, I can dribble with it. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much on that, but I think you get what I mean by between the two minds. Now, Willy Caballero, Chelsea's #1, shares this. Goalkeeper coaches use a lot of creative exercises from other sports. When other keepers and myself train, it's important that we know why we are doing the training, and it's important that we enjoy the training. For example, we do ping pong speed competitions where machines serve balls at you fast. This exercise is to develop our reactions. We then extend the level of difficulty by adding cognitive elements to increase our ability to think quicker in different situations. And again, that's just a way of developing unconscious competence, and something that Malcolm Gladwell refers to, thinking without thinking, to thinking quicker. And for a goalie, they get balls smashed at them all day. And to be able to think, okay, that person's hit the ball and it's going there, and then I'm going to dive there, it's going to be near enough impossible. It's those snap reactions, and there's a lot going into that to be able to react and dive and save the shot. I'm not going to go into this, but Michel Brunings, who was credited, or who has been credited to revolutionising Belgian football, he does a bit on brain-centered learning. So I talk about this, and he's worked with some really, really big players that play for the national team right now. And that's unconscious competence.